Um, Hello guys, I'm starting my stream. Gonna have to check my audios and stuff. So at first, like 5 minutes, I'm gonna be doing warming up, and yeah, and then I'm gonna check the sound and all that. So gonna gonna take some time. A lot of things to discuss. I didn't want to, to be sitting in the dock like during the previous stream most of the streaming time. Um, and the stream went good. I loved the theme that I was talking about. I love the final, execution of my hurricane with this very specific fitting for a very specific, very, narrow fight case, and I didn't have any time to kind of try it once again. But kind of this is good. This is a good fit. I'm gonna be using it from time to time. I had a set of PvP streams I wanted to do, but real life interferes lately, and kinda it takes a lot of time to do the stuff. Okay, sound is good. Let's check the sound. Sound is very good. And unfortunately, I didn't have enough time to forum. I didn't have enough time to really start running our corp fleets and all that. But I'm gonna talk about this a little bit later. And the reasons you're gonna see them. And we're gonna talk a little bit about planning and stuff. But we need to warm up. I need to check other minor things, and when I'm ready, we're gonna go. If stream runs good, I'm gonna update my post. Okay, should I do this? Planning, prepping. Okay, I'm gonna update this part. I'm just gonna do another ping. Stream live. Okay, now we need this cute images. Those. No. Where's? Oh, it changed it. Let's talk about stuff. Yo, ping went. So, while we're warming up, I'm gonna talk a little bit about streaming itself. I love the way it goes. Again, unfortunately, I don't have enough time. I wish I could spend more time doing this, and I hope that soon my workload gonna go down. I'm trying to wrap up the current scope of my tasks, and when they are deployed and delivered, I'm gonna have much more time. Well, I hope I'm gonna have much more time for streaming and all that. And before, like when I just started, it was kind of hard for me to find interesting themes. It was hard for me to really find, I always had in mind, okay, people might not be interested in this, people might not be interested in that, like why should I show the Jackdaws and stuff if like no one uses it, and such kind of concerns and all that. I've lost those concerns. I do really enjoy streaming. I do really see that this improves our players, style, and actually the most kind of satisfying thing in all this that I see, you guys doing this, and really Morty progress is kind of cool. I see people running those Crimson Hand Harvest Depots, like 6 of 10s, or Blood Raider 6 of 10s. I can see through the buybacks. I can see that, me showing how to run, I don't know, ghost sites to more deal it to, you know, to a good um, upgrade in the flow of materials, and do not, you know, do not doubt those find their good place in us fulfilling our alliance roles. Like I've created recently a contract to Yondu with the parts for super capital construction of ours, well, actually of mine, but we still stockpiling those parts. For supers, they got nerfed, prices may go down. It was like a supreme move to sell Neuralink just like a week before the changes applied, or even like less. I think like only 4 or 5 days passed after we sold it, and price went down. So we won in a moment more than, I don't know, 8 billion, which is kind of gorgeous. And now we have this. Do I have a corp? No, I don't have corp. A wallet. Still, it's kind of cool. We have other plans of how we can be doing this. But again, need time for everything, and there's like a lot of going on around currently. Anyhow, we're gonna talk about this. Still, about the stream. I do enjoy it. I do love how it's progressing. It's on my side right now. I see that like not very many people watching them. Like, kind of, it's obvious because on the corp mates currently watching those. I may wanna go more public, but kind of need to finish all those preparations. Need to start doing layouts. Need to write descriptions. Need to tag stuff. Need to find some music. I don't know, like I don't think I don't know, giveaways are mandatory, because like the thing we're gonna be doing on stream is gonna be, you know, gonna be good educational program. But like kind of if giveaways is a part of this culture, like why not? But most important out of this is to write a content plan and to stick to it. I mean, in a way, like if I'm promoting Jackdaw, there should be some, you know, some set of Jackdaw videos. I might be doing challenge on one of my alts, or I may even create a brand new character. Start with an alpha to doing all this alpha stuff. The same corexes, farming those, you know, MZMs, monasteries, and then from them buying myself an Omega, and, you know, track the time it's gonna take me to do this, and all that. But kinda again, this all requires time, and I hope that during April I'm gonna find more of this, and I'm gonna start doing this more, like, you know, more in a public way. What else? Okay, my cat is trying to shred my pillows. Come on! No, he's not in the mood. He just repositioned from, you know, from the heater to my couch. So what? Let's start, I think. So yeah, I'm gonna tell you about the stream plan itself. So as you see today, I'm not on one of my mains, or even one of my main alts, or one of my secondary alts. This is Tribality. This is a character who was created just to do pure exploration, and specifically to run on the one type of sites in low sec. And I'm going to demonstrate you. It doesn't have a lot of skill points, but have pretty neat total net worth. All of this was acquired through the exploration. Now you see augmentations already. This is like neural lathe black glass implant that boosts your data analyzer to have less coherence but more strength. So you see coherence is down from well, it's kind of up, but it's really down because the skills give you more, but the implant cuts the part of it. Strength is increased. It has 60 now. What else? What else? What else? Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna show you the implant itself. This is not very important. Yeah, plus strength minus coherence, which is okay. Skills should be yeah, and as you see, she's not training currently. Yeah, in here, all good. Just because on other tunes on this account I have one of my armor dread alts. I'm gonna talk about this a little bit later, and one of my thunder alts that I'm like doing with a dia from time to time. Usually when we're having a convo or kind of discussing something, I prefer to sit in thunders and like we're doing thunder writing. And even if thunder writing is fleece, it allows us to to not spend time on kind of, which is not very you know oversupplied lately for me. So like I'm trying to use those things to spend time kind of good way. No Zugma. Yeah, more today, no Zugma. Probably I'm gonna show Zugma next time during next expo stream. Yeah, today is gonna be expo stream. I'm just like giving you an introduction of what's gonna be happening. I'm in Faceabilis, at the very bottom of Faceabilis. It's our old territories, and I'm gonna travel from here straight up to pum 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 to here. There is an electrical store and metal mineral storage. I'm gonna tell you about them a little bit later, but generally, yeah, she was designed to run those Aegis capital sites, and what is this? This is like a pure exploit. You need to be sneaky. You need to sneak into the site. You need to extract one item. Heck, I can. There are like a lot of mines. One day I'm going to show you, but it's not part of today's videos. Just because I quit using her in OSEC because she's a good explorer, and now I'm like using her as my secondary explorer. So as I quit living in Faceabilis because of like a lot of action happening in our current areas, I quit doing my challenge with Angel 6 of Tens and other stuff in here, and I even quit running in Paragon Soul recently just because of the things happening. But yeah, she's my main supplier for those parts, electroneural signaler, or we're using those to build dreads. This thing goes into Neuralink, one per Neuralink, which means yeah, those like changed demand. Still, one dread means one electroneural signaler if it's not Zernitra, because Zernitra costs two of those. Still I needed them, and so I was hunting for them. What the fuck? Finding personal assets in here. You see, I was kinda lucky with getting those. A good part of those was transferred already to Corp stashes. Corp was buying them from me, and I used a lot of those to build our dread packs. How many do I have in here? 5, 3, 8. This is 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 17. 17 is okay-ish. Is kinda, and I have others in my traders and my main tune with which I'm like doing export from time to time in LowSec. I went to LowSec. I'm gonna tell about this later, not that long ago, and get back from there because LowSec is toxic. But anyways, I'm gonna talk about this a little bit later. So to start, I'm gonna dock, and what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna go from here to here. Then I'm gonna tell you about electrical storms and all the stuff, and we're gonna finish my stream with that. But while we go, we have a hell lot of stuff to talk about, and yeah, let's start from here. So today is gonna be mainly 4 topics. The latest news. I want to discuss what's happening in a Corp, and around corp and with alliance and all that. Then we're gonna talk about like recent fights that we had. Part was like part of the fights were about the Jugdots and stuff. Partly it was like yesterday's huge fight. Then we're gonna talk about Faceless and their deploy. More details to follow. And the last theme is actually my birthday. I'm gonna be celebrating my birthday in Eve, kinda in a couple of weeks. Not next Saturday, but the Saturday after this Saturday. Like the Saturday after next Saturday. And I'm planning some fancy stuff for this. Okay, those things we're gonna talk about later. So yeah, that's my usual setup for Explo. I'm using those locations. You want to see? Yeah, just to explain. If you go here, you can have locations here, and you can open group window, and they're gonna be showing. But I prefer this because it eases the actual Explo process. In a way, I'm saving the bookmarks I'm doing. Just if I'm gonna rerun the same route, I'm gonna have those bookmarks saved, and they're gonna be visible. So I'm gonna be deleting those. So for example, if here ICV was mentioned, I would just straight up delete it or something. And we're gonna start. It's not about my money making today. That's not my favorite chart for doing money Explo. I keep it in here for some reasons. For example, to not have my Explo code in here with my main tune. So yeah, you're gonna see how it goes. Doing this, and so she's just secondary from time to time. I was like planning to do those very specific nomadic sites, but I prefer still not to have an Explo set up on my Tengu, because Tengu is kind of expensive. I didn't want to make it even more expensive. And yeah, so kind of it's just a helper for me to run around, find sites, and do stuff. Partly while I was doing this, I formed a small stash of my Explo loot in here in Feasibilis. Again, not very important, but like, yeah, you can see what's going to be happening while I'm going to be running and doing Explo. So like you're going to be able to see it with my own two eyes, kind of in a way. So let's get to our first topic. First topic today is the corp news and stuff. Yeah, so as you've seen, I hope you've seen my pings in a Discord channel. I've updated our corp description to see. You can go here and you can go. Okay, let's go here to Morty and see here, and we have a very nice description. As you see, I've mentioned our bonuses, our pluses. I've done this I want to go to recruiting process again, because we have people missing, people are like busy with their lives, and summer is not the very best time for our numbers, because like during summer people go on vacations, do their stuff with families, with kids, and all that. And we still need members, good content comes to Eve with this Faceless deployment, with our recent capital brawls, and leadership promises are more of such kind. So, and we need numbers to show ourselves, and it's kind of more fun to play together than to play alone. Currently we have only 2 people online, me and Morty, which is not very good. But like, we're doing good stuff, we're a good team, and yesterday I've talked to Nikomi, and Nikomi said he adores Corp for that. Like, we were, he was using a dread, the revelation yesterday that we helped him to extract from a wormhole, and he was very, very grateful for that, and he thinks that the core part of the Corp, and I do think the same, that we're helping each other, and they are we are ready to stand for each other and stuff. So kind of we have our own benefits, and so it should be easy for us to recruit. We're kind of experienced, competent, and all that. And you've seen it. Like, if you're watching this, you know that. We didn't have needs. Alright. Interesting. Well, who cares? Let's go to some random. We didn't have a safe spot in here, so let's just go. Arc. can test any sites with him, so he can take whatever he wants. Just gonna make some. Oh, move to site. Do you know who you are? Who you are? Send my hero. Cobalt crab hole. Probably a wormhole right now. I'm too late to check him on the KD. Actually, let me check. Oh, nudes. Who cares? Who cares? Have no idea. Who are those? Be my guess, guys. Okay. I'm kind of cloaked in printed nowhere. Loki. Yeah, some hunters trying to hunt locals. Good luck. Good luck. D4 rifts. We don't have those. Okay. I hope this this stuff ends. Okay, let's take a look where we want to go. We want to go to R. Here it is to R. Oh, no, not here. So let's go. So yeah, this core description should help us to hire more people. That's good. I'm checking Reddit also lately in a forum like their Eve Jobs channel. I've never used it, but kind of maybe it's time to start. And it's not that hard as it might seem. I mean, stab it, Morty, stab it. But who knows? Yeah, we were able to recruit skills. I was trying out our ads, and I didn't actually know that when you update an ad, it's been sent sour. You know, where maybe some in-game recruitment and stuff. I'm lame in such things. And skills came to us, and we recruited him. I'm super satisfied with his progression, his experience. He's trying something new. He's tracking what we're doing. He really follows the advices, so that's a good part. So yeah, streaming also helps in such form. And so the only real thing we need to do is just start sending those ads and tracking our public channels, and I'm sure we're gonna be fine with that. Okay, level 4 might be shipyard. Well, shipyard is 10 of 10. We're gonna see. And that's actually what I'm using this doing from time to time to scan down the combat anomalies for my main, and we can go and run combats, or I can go do it solo if you want to. That's not 10 of 10, 9 of 10 usually. I might want to do this later, but I won't just because I don't have time. You see. I know how to do those. In the end, you get in A types if you're lucky. People do not like to do them because it re-escalates twice, and the last side is kind of harsh if you don't know how to do it. Like for example, I don't know, if you're overconfident and you don't have good cap stability, you may regret in time. Even in a Marauder, if 3 nudes or even 4 apply to you, you're really gonna regret. Yeah, not part of today's stream, but yeah. So I'm set up for recruitment. Why I'm not doing this currently, because I have very little time to do this. But again, starting from next month, which can happen again this Tuesday, I'm gonna start recruiting more actively. The second part is actually part related to the first part. Sammer left yesterday, and he mentioned his reasons. I do respect them. He's not very into PvP currently, and he's doing his real life. I think he's still up to his PhD or medical D, probably PhD work, and war and all this stuff related, maybe not part of his interests, so he left. Honestly, the only thing I don't really like is people not warning me in advance about such things, but kind of that's okay. It's kind of breaking up is a hard process usually for people. For me, yeah, I started to take it quite easily lately, just because people come, people go. It's not that like we've invested, over invested into people, or they are obligated to follow our expectations. None of this part of the deal when people join corp. So kind of that's okay. We're gonna grow in time, and I'm gonna just if you're planning to leave, please guys warn me in advance. Kind of this kind of I don't want such things to go unexpected, because um, people start to ask questions and stuff. People start to hesitate what's going on. It's always like recently some corporations were living their lives, and I saw the frustration in corporate leadership chats about like, oh, people are leaving, what's going on, what should we do, are we doing good? So to avoid such such concerns, just warn me, and again, no hard feelings on this. Actually, in the last fight we fought, with one of the guys who left the corp, and now they are in a horde. I think Bill. It was Bill, if I remember correctly. Sorry, I was too busy with the shooting stuff, so I didn't remember it. My bad. But this is part of this game. This is just a game. Well, it's more than a game, but it's still a game. So you're playing, people changing teams and all that. We're not fanatics, not Thiel. It's about it's not a betrayal. Even if Bill went to court, his reasons were kind of very obvious. He met the guy from old times, and he met him during his own stuff in LowSec, and the guys called them, and so they just went and formed the group they were enjoying doing. We're not doing currently faction warfare, and if you enjoy doing something else, you're free to go. Would be nasty if you left and went to directly to Horde and dropped us the dread the day after, or did a betrayal and sold the dreads on the spot, something like this. Again, not current scope, so that's okay. Maybe the most important news from this blog about corp news and stuff is, or alliance news, is that Sons of Bane joining Imperium, and they are gonna settle in an area in Quarius that used to belong to us, and it's still gonna stay belonging to us for this transition period. But it's kind of obvious now that we can't plan our ops in there anymore, because the space obviously gonna be reshaped, and we didn't know yet how they would prefer the local space to look like. For example, when Dracarys left and Get Off My Lawn entered the area, they totally reshaped these constellations that they're settled in. They've kind of changed the distribution of sites that spawn in here, in there. So, for example, one of my outs farm is unable to do activities that I love to do in there, and the pocket was kind of sweet and very handy in doing those activities. But kind of that's the thing, we can't affect this, and I'm not very happy about this, to be honest, just because I do love Quarius more than Delve, because, well, for a number of reasons, but from my point of view, Delve is a shithole. I have to be honest with you guys, just because but as Dai says, it is what it is. That's just the way it is. So we're just gonna adjust. I'm gonna extract some of my mineral that are left in there. I'm probably gonna extract some other things, and we're just gonna replant our what we're doing. Good for us that Dia moved our capital production to Delph, and other people like Poet are doing well, you know, their construction also in Delft. So it's only, so we have very little things left. I'm gonna suffer a lot, mostly because I have a lot of, well, you know, PI in there. Most of my PI, well, not, I think all of my PI is in queries. So kind of moving change is gonna suck because I still would like to pay taxes to our wallets. We don't know yet how, again, how they gonna set up their POCOs and stuff in, again, so just this is a time to reconsider a lot of things, and I'm not the only one who is not very pleased with that, because the same, a lot of corps anchored, you know, forts anchored structured had their indie parks in there, and you know, points from leadership like we're gonna enhance our ADMs and stuff and shit. They're gonna, how to say, they are very minor. Like that's, ADMs are not being done with that. You know, if you have something to do, you just need to shape your, you know, you just need to shape your space to match kind of the goals you're planning to use on. Still, I think that's good for Brave in general, just because we were super overextended defending, I don't know, A2 constellation and space around A2 constellation was kind of shitty because you know, the distance from our staging, having to defend all those jump gates was kind of also a problem for us. Song of Bane are, like, if you don't know who those are, they are northern citizens, mostly they are coming from Fred area. Like I remember them being on North during, you know, forever, just because, like, I remember when there was a war with when kind of goons kicked out the, you know, the horde to drone regions, and then during the Winter War when, you know, the power block continents were shifting and stuff like that. They still used to be living in there, but kind of there's some kind of drama in there. Like, I don't know, like all the reasons. Maybe we were informed, but like I'm not tracking such things. They are not very important to me. Still, they're very PP oriented. I know them getting into fights and stuff, doing, you know, all those small and mid-scale engagements, which is kind of cool to have such PvPers around us and among us. So I can greet them joining us. I can greet our leadership move with this, but I don't just like the communication. So I would like to be prepared more with this. Yeah, so also no rush to moving things out and shit out of queries or something. I think major part of our assets are already moved. Even I moved stuff from queries so recently, and this transition gonna go. Just if you want to start to consolidate assets in our structures, they won't be unanchored most likely. They're just gonna be transferred. We're gonna see this. But again, no rush. If you have anything super voluminous to move, let me know. Alliance gonna help us with moving our assets. Yeah, and the thing, I still have my Titan parts somewhere in Aquarius, where our super capital structure used to be. So I'm probably gonna be the most one suffering. Give me a second. Timon! Прекращай. The Kitty, well, I doubt Kitty knows any real, you know, language. Just like get used to talking with him in Russian. But he quit doing his, you know, shenanigans. Okay, so the first topic covered. The second topic gonna be our fights. So first I would like to start with, okay, we're gonna see who the fuck are those. Stiletto, Loki, and whom? We don't know it. We are at a distance. We're probably going oh. Yeah, right. So first part. Recently, I get a chance to get into a fleet in a Jackdaw to just to undust some skill that I was promoting before with using a Jackdaw, and I was successful in a way. We had a fight with a fraternity, with them trying to erase one of the allied structures from there. They dropped large fleets. Luckily for me, middle fleets. So they were using typhoons. They were using I think sacrileges and stuff. And then the thing, Jackdaws versus those fleets performs superbly because as those are missile fleets, the vigil rolls are very crucial for them, and hyena rolls and all that, and especially for typhoons because typhoons are shooting from very far distances. So they do need painters to apply good, especially versus nightmares. We had a nightmare fleet, so hunt for vigils and hyenas are like it's super legit, and I was doing pretty good. You can check my that kill board. I've killed 3 vigils. I've applied even more pressure upon hyenas and other vigils that had to run, that had to actually warp out of the grid. It's not the very successful and efficient engagement, if you ask me, just because I was solo doing this. Luckily, other guys from Alliance also were doing this, but not in that handy ships. So if we had a squad of like 2 Jackdaws, 3 Jackdaws, it would be even more efficient. So like you do a volley, and yeah, some of the vigils were caught up by their lodges. Still, this is a good experience because like if you have a fleet of typhoons and you have a screaming vigil who claims for reps, it distracts your logi from repping the typhoons, and it takes time to lock those vigils. So I think 3 Jackdaws is a perfect squad to do this. My second, like my primary role was a hunter. Obviously, so I was hunting those vigils, and I tried to have scalps on my dead kill board of those. And again, so like I was using the same Jackdaw I'm using to run MZMs, you know. So that's kinda good experience. Secondary role was a defender bot. Alliance recently asked for us to be in defender bot to protect fleets from bombers, from bombs, and actually I did this also. So I've shoot anti-bomb launcher several times, I think 3 or 4. So I killed several bombs. Still, I was acting just as I was telling you to act before. Oh my kitty. Let's make a point here. He's gonna be running around and screaming for several minutes now. Hit into water closet. Yes, there's gonna be some new. Hey! Stop this! Do not make me stand up. Do not chew cords. Give me a second, guys. I'm gonna mute myself for a couple of seconds. Yo. Yo, yo. Interesting. I'm checking my sound. Can you hear me? Okay, all good. All good. Cool, cool. Guys, give me a second. I'm gonna make myself a coffee because it's like already night in here. So, and I'm gonna be back in a minute or so. Just need to make a coffee. I'm gonna be back. And yeah, my cat quit running around and screaming like insane. So we can proceed shortly. Ba, 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 ba. Da, 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 da. Okay, I'm back. Let's go. What's going on here? But unity is okay, mine. Okay, let's harvest this part. A lot of going on rewards. Okay, cool. Why not? Plus 10k speed. Yeah, and you see, I'm completing all those tasks. Well, not every day, but daily, and I have this opportunity thing fulfilled, like filled 100%, which allows me to save some skill points to boost some trainings when I need them. Okay, anyways, just to where were we about jackdaws? Yeah, so those things work. Like you're picking a role, you're following it. How to do hunting on a jackdaw, kind of the same thing. You're pretty much running the MZM, so you're keeping a distance and you're shooting your victims from afar. Usually you try to stick with the fleet, but if you're fighting, for example, typhoons and they're shooting from very, very far, you can approach them in a kind of very cautious way and try to snipe or cherry pick their vigils. In case they're gonna start to lock you and try to shoot you, which happens yesterday, you just run from them. If some other guys, send drones to you again, you are able to run from drones, and instead of shooting vigils, you can start to shoot drones. Usually that's enough for those pilots to try to scoop their drones. Then you can get back to shooting, you shooting the primary targets. Jackdaw range is kind of very distant, very long. You have 137.5 kilometers of missile range. That's the same range you are able to lock, even without the infolinks. With infolinks, you're gonna be able to lock further. But like yesterday, Typhoons tried to outsnipe Nightmares. That's okay. Then you're using your main fleet just as a kind of beacon where you and consider, yeah, you can consider your fleet as a beacon, and your links as a pulse of those beacons. So you're getting those links to improve your performance, and then you can start to approach enemies and start shooting vigils. Then when you see your links are going down and you still like want to be stable, I mean in terms of like to have those benefits of kind of shield links or and info links and kind of skirm links, to have better speed, to have a lesser signature and all that. You just get back to them, get your boost and get back into an action. It was exactly what I was doing during this fight. Yeah, you're gonna lose your role of being a defender boat, and you can decide yourself what's best for you. But in general, kind of hunter role is a good role itself. Like yesterday, Morty told me he was forbidden to use ejector during fleet because it's a low sec and you don't need to defend fleet from, from bombs. I can't really comment this. I mean, in a way, because all my comments gonna be, swear words and all that. But in general, you have other roles in this. Like yesterday, there wasn't a good number of, missiles. I think the only real candidate were this sacrilegious on the grid. But kind of, regardless, jackdaws are legit. Also, I saw more the cherry pickers. How the fuck I love them. Still, there's no reason to be, to be useless for locals. So like clean up. Another side, hopefully gonna spawn. We're in this one, so let's just be lawful. Give me a second. Timon! Cat tries to do criminal actions again. He's in a good mood to do silly things. No, we're gonna run and hide. No! Yeah, I didn't want to interfere with this is exactly right. But who knows, maybe he's kind of upside down. We can act very cautious. We're just gonna hide and wait till he's gone. Well, the stream goes good, so I'm gonna go into this appendix that exits to a mist. Get lost, dude. Oh. Very gentleman move. I asked him, he went away. Awesome. So yeah, try to train the jackdaws and try to find your experience in there. Just because I saw more did I think 3 fleets in jackdaw recently. One fleet he was kinda, I think, best damage dealer or something on the field. He was following those goals to hunt someone, to shoot someone. But maybe today he was shut down. I'm gonna leave my comments a little bit later on this. But in general, yeah, you are getting experience regardless of those links, regardless of those roles. You can just go and be a solo hunter, and especially during large engagements, that's a kind of total legit role. You can even use combat scanner probes and try to go and find, rebouncing E-war or rebouncing pods. Because like yesterday, for example, I was able to save my pod that I was using on the Dread on my alt. But it was kind of very tricky situation. Pod costed like half Dread price, and still managed to save it. So, and if there were, I don't know, like jackdaw that was specifically hunting for pods or something, especially if it's null, you can get a very, very juicy kill if you're going to be finishing up the pods, especially in a kind of space where they don't ask, like where FCs don't ask you to, to stop killing pods for them to get home, slower. Anyways, so that's what you do again, and just to repeat, you are shipping a jackdaw, the standard one that we're using to run MZMs. Then you go and do your own job. You're kind of one-man army in a way. So you don't even need those links and stuff. I mean, you're totally, if the positioning is better for you to be at a distance and not be with the main fleet, for example, the main fleet is being, kind of stuck in the bubbles and all the drones and all the shit on this. Fleet command won't try to save you, to be honest, guys, because you are just a jackdaw. Why, like, and you have nightmares under strike, under the, primary things. If you're gonna stay with them, enemies may like wanna try and send drones on you, and you're gonna have problems with this. So usually you just trying to be at a distance from enemy fleet, and if the enemy fleet is right on your main fleet, then your anti-bomb launcher is no use. So kind of why to stay close. Links won't grant you survival, just because kind of if you're choosing between distance and links, you always choose distance because that's the primary tank of jackdaw, its range. If you're close, you're losing this benefit and you're just gonna be dead pretty soon. So training to jackdaws, try them, it's fun. I've tried it myself, and as I always say, I won't recommend you think that I'm not doing myself. So kind of keep in mind this thing. Yeah, about yesterday's fight. Yeah, so yesterday was a gorgeous fight with the, with the capitals, with capital brawl. We were represented by three of us, me, Morty, and Nikomi. I think Nikomi had the most fun, just because my dread was primary at first, like not very first, but the third dread of all. It went down. Kinda, it totally fulfilled the role I was designing it for. All hulls, if we lost, were SRP'd. I haven't claimed SRP just because of the way it was fitted and stuff. Like it's my, my own thing. If I asked, it would be SRP'd in like, I don't know, in like how fast, in 2 hours. Shattered told. That's okay. Some mistakes were made by me and by us in general, and I hope Nihome had fun. Well, he told me he did, so I'm super glad with this. So it was his first Dread Brawl. He's top 3 damage dealers. Like if you saw the ping in the corp update, he's the 3rd damage dealer of all on the field, which kind of quite impressive because he wasn't in a faction dread, guys. He was just in a relation, and so he managed to survive and slapped a lot of betties with his lasers. What I wanna talk about this part. So first of all, yeah, we did good. I don't know, like if we won the brawl itself. We lost more than enemies, but we hold the grid, and thus we were able to loot the the drop from the field, and kind of this very slight. I think the difference was something like 10%, 45 on 55, maybe 20%, 60 on 40, but I doubt. I really doubt. Like the numbers were pretty close, so there's no reason to kind of consider this fight lost or something. Fort repaired, so a strategic objective was won. Some details to share. I haven't expected it to escalate. I mean, it was kind of just like yeah, and the thing to mention, there were only brave capitals on the field. meaning kinda it's not the whole Imperium fighting Horde or something. So we were able to start Horde with only our our own forces. We did good. Capitals were used. We trained. Blah blah blah. All the stuff. So kinda there is no. I was told there's like already a lot of shit posting on Reddit about this, like how Horde you know killed everything, totally dominated the grid, and then when they kind of disgraced us, they decided to, you know, to disengage. Blah 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 blah. Well, yeah, serious. Are you guys serious? I don't know. Like I haven't read it yet. Maybe I should. I'm gonna take a look later, but like not my primary. That's not my primary interest right now. Things to mention about all this. First, train the dreads. Uh, Leadership promises, leadership promises more such action. Partly, I'm not, you know, claiming SRP for this because of that. The less Alliance has to SRP, the more resources it has to kind of do those things again and again and again. And I would like those things to happen again and again and again, because it was fun, it was interesting. Finally, we are getting Dread Brawls. Last Dread Brawl I was into was in Amazon, I think. I didn't like the one in Amazon. We've lost it. We've lost strategic objective back then. I was able to save the pod again because it was like low sec. This was a low sec again, so I was able to save my pod. Pod is quite expensive, so I'm very satisfied with this. Just train the dreads and try to be online. We need more people to join this stuff. From my own perspective, yeah. Again, I was primed. Well, not the first, but one of the first. Dread was super expensive, but not insanely expensive. Just a dread with Tech 2 rigs, with some A-type mods, and with a good, pod and all that. So kind of fulfill the role, and I, in a way, feel kind of joy in doing this, just because you design the dread, you use the dread like, and it's not meta dread, so it kind of it has its own specific role. It soaked a lot of damage, and yeah, one of the mistakes to mention was about fitting, just because Alliance changed fittings and I didn't know that, so I've used the old one. I didn't use a second invul field instead of missile guidance computer, so kind of in a way it cut 25% of my tank. But I mean, I still had the Phoenixes are very fat. It kind of it's and it was overtanked with with all those A-type mods, so I did good. I was only able to shoot 3 times, I think, but I've gotten 3 dread kills, capital kills. I think I myself killed a carrier, and then got a tap on 2 Rev Navies. So no regrets. Went cool. Next time I just need to fit it more correctly. And yeah, so as I was primary 3rd of all, I thought that I was the first one, and I sucked all the damage. So I did my best. So and I did everything correct. So first of all, I've kind of heated all the tank modes. I've heated all the damage modes. I think I haven't heated the energy nuke just because I didn't have, like, it was obvious that I'm gonna die. So it's I didn't have like even an intention to do this. I took all the drugs that needed. If you take a look at my loss kill mail, you may think that there are pyro level 3, 5 of them, and those crash boosters and stuff. The thing is, those are just a reserve, because the fight was a tie-dye, and you never know how many of those you might need. I'm always keeping in mind the fights that were happening during World War B2, where the fights were ongoing for several hours, blah 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 blah, And just remember though, so in variant I usually have one level 4, a couple of level 3s, but this time like I was, okay, I have 3 more, what to do? Oh, just let it be, we're about to go, we're about to roll, so it wouldn't be a huge loss to, like, lose 3 of them. It also appeared to be 100 mil or something. Like I'm already using 14 bill dread, so kinda I don't really care about Pyrus. So in such terms, also yeah, I didn't have chance. Like why I didn't like the Amazon fight, because I had slight chances to escape there. I was literally 10 seconds before the siege goes down, and I would be able to jump out. I was pulling my cap from the start and all that. So like I was about to jump, and then like, oh no, you're not going anywhere, pal. This time it was obvious that I'm not going anywhere in any case, because like the fight just started. Enemy had 120 dreads, I think, or something like this, like insane amount. So and like it just started the fight, and you're being primaried, dude, you're going down, like and yeah, another noticeable result is that like even if I you know lasted not that long, I was still able to apply 3 volleys, and I think I was top damage dealer. And one of the parts, why I'm satisfied, is kind of obvious that Phoenix is gonna go down first, just because of the way how this dread is being used, and what this dread is. It has its own drawbacks, like the missile application time. It's not like the damage; it's not instant. It has another very important drawback. It has a hole in damage type that, like, the most beneficial one, which is EM, and it's kind of obvious that as you're a shield Kaldari ship, you're gonna have a hole in EM, and so it's like the majority of DPS is EM. And at the same time you're doing a lot of DPS. That's why, like, that's the thing, you're super tanky and you're super damagey, so usually people prefer to take you down, just because otherwise you're gonna be screwing everything on the battlefield. Like you're gonna be placing so much damage that like it's gonna be hard to hold yours. Yeah, so yeah, Phoenix is usually being raised first, right after Naglfars. Just because in the current meta, Naglfars are disgustingly bad. They have their, area of usage being snipey dreads, where you fit artillery on those. They have this alpha, and Zeus, you like, they are like they have the same benefits as, I don't know, the Hurricanes have, or TFIs have. Huge alpha, which means if you have not that very many dreads, you're still going to be able to erase some of them. And it goes very good with having their nitros in a grid. Their nitros, they're still in damage, but their initial alpha is relatively low. So if you want to be really winning those trades, you want this alpha. Still, they're very unpopular, and people quit using them for close brawl. I mean, during those large engagements, if you wanna kind of erase something like I don't know, a super or something like this, dropping a Naglfar might not be a mistake, just because of their insane damage at close ranges and the ability to choose a damage type. So if you're dropping a shield, you're using just EMP. If you're dropping armor, you can always use hail and stuff. Okay, but they're definitely not for super large engagements, like it happened yesterday. So kind of make it choose wise. Probably one day I'm gonna do a brief overview of dreads, probably right now. So yeah, if you're considering to get into a dread, you can choose out of several options. First of all, meta ones, 2 meta ones currently, the Rave Navi and their Nitra. Boost armor tanked, their Nitra is more expensive but more efficient, especially as it can be used boost like at a close ranges and long ranges. long range grants you, again, the tanking, just as Jackdaw does. Most of the drop dreads do not have a good distance of their weapons, and I think the Reader is able to shoot at 100 plus kilometers with its long range charges, and my dread is able to shoot like maybe 80 kilometers even with long range ammo. So this is a strategy. Being at close range, they're still super fat. It's kind of a faction dread. They have this bonus for tankness. They have plenty of all those fitting things, and they can always be switched into close armor, close damage type, like close ammo type, and just screw others. Also, they're hitting a hull partly of other armor dreads. So if you're comparing Rev Navi, for example, and the Nitra, their ability to hit into the damage hull is kind of crucial. So you're considering those two. After that, I think goes Phoenix, just because the thing that I mentioned before, it's super fat, it's super damagey. It can be fitted to be a hot dread, it can be fitted to be sniper dread with its cruise missiles, even if it's not very popular. But on the sieges of especially forts, when you need to hold damage in a fort, you may use those cruise missiles and stuff. It's tank because it has a natural resistance bonus. Damage types, like damage mods, are not feeling its tank modes, like on most of the armor ships and stuff. So it has its own benefits. I adore those just because of that, just because you can be the very fast and main damage dealer on the field, which I value, just because it can show your efficiency and stuff. And I want to be on top of the of the damage dealers on the field. The third one, I think, is a also a good start. It's a Morris Navy. There's like a huge difference between those, because Morris Navy, with getting this bonus on optimal range, is a legit drop dread from now. And also it can be super tanky, especially not in that not in that very large engagements, just because it can be whole tank fit, and it's going to be super cheap. Like to fit accordingly Rev Navy, you may want to have those A types, you may want to have some specific things, and still you won't be as fat as Morris. I mean whole tank Morris. A good option also, usually Morrises are the last one to shoot. I don't know, Nicometode or Morditol. I think Nicometode, that yesterday they were focusing Morrises at some point, like we were focusing Morrises at some point, just because they're easier to die. The strategy is okayish, but if those Morrises were whole tanked, it would be kind of, in a way, I mean, full tank without a single mode. They are disgustingly fat in such case. And they didn't care about damage type, so you don't care who's shooting you. Zernitras, Revs, or Phoenixes, or other Morrises, you have everything, well rounded. There are ways how to improve your overall tank. You're just, the only one mode you may spend your money on is, mutated damage control or faction damage control if you're made of ISK. And it's kind of easy to use, so usually it's a guarantee that you're gonna last at the very end of the fight, and especially if enemies know that you're hull tanked. Even if they don't know, they're gonna primer you. This is super efficient waste of their damage. They're gonna have to burn through the fucking potato dreadnought, which is not the best strategy. So also an option. And because of the blaster guns, blasters are usually, all those nasty Brutexes, all those nasty ENIs and stuff like this, that using blasters, they have insane damage, the same Morris does, so you might have chance to be the best damage dealers in the field in the very end. And also, very good point, as you probably saw yesterday, I was using kinetic missiles. That's because it's like general recommendations for Phoenixes, because usually people are tanking the most holes of their damage types. So, for example, Revs have most of the times their explosive resistance covered, because they might be hit by the Runitrus. They don't love the Runitrus. Sometimes they are over tanking thermal, just because for Triglavian guns, thermal is still the main DPS type, and so that's how you simulate your fight. So okay, I'm gonna be hit by Revs, which has EM and thermal, and then I'm gonna be hit by the Runitrus, who has thermal and explosive. So it's kind of obvious that if you have a chance, overtanking a thermal is not a mistake. So that's how people usually think. This way, armor dreads have the very natural, like very strong natural resistance to EM, and moderate to thermal, just because of the way how resistance are being distributed. And those kinetic usually have a hull, because secondary thing to cover after the thermal is explosive for them, and that's a good part. That's a good part. Phoenix can hit into their holes, and partly Morris can do this because of his kinetic damage. So this is another benefit of Morris. You're trying to act counter meta or something. If you're looking for to be, to have some identity on the battlefield. If you don't really care, if you just want to see the whole fight, if you are smart and gorgeous as Nikomi, just pick a Rev Navy. And you're gonna be doing very good. Just because probably you're gonna live to the end of the fight, because there are gonna be other Morrises, Snugglefars, and Phoenixes to hit. If the enemy is gonna primary you, well, this is just a bad luck. There's nothing personal versus you. It's just about like how rolls diced. How dice is rolled. Sorry. So yeah, do that. Train to the stuff. Soon we're gonna be building more dreads, just because I need to feel my, I had 4 Phoenix navies. One I've sold to, well, before I had 5 of them. One I've sold to Mr. Antiseptic, I guess. 2 I've lost. I only have two left. So and we have huge plans for house and beacons and all that stuff. So I'm just gonna go and buy myself a couple more, maybe even more. Well, we're gonna see. I'm probably gonna be shifting my dread type to other types, but we're gonna see. I'm probably gonna try out the Morris next time on my main. Yeah, and that was another disappointing thing during the fight, as it wasn't supposed to be a supreme engagement, and the instructions from leadership weren't that obvious. So I could have used the Archon, for example, or I could have used my Theni, or I could have used another Phoenix Navi for this. Like if I knew that there would be such an engagement. But on my main I was flying Vulture, a Fianai fleet. I mean, I can't say I did bad or something, just because my Vulture was primary 2 times. I was able to outlive, because these cockroach tactics, when you just like, okay, I'm trying to survive, I'm running for my life, and I was able to survive. So like they primaried me twice, and I was able to tap a lot of dreads before they died. I could have done better if I was in second dread, or if I was in a carrier or something. So when I lost my main dread, when I lost my dread on a main, I was just like flying around, like they were broadcasting, okay, shoot this legion, or shoot this devoter, and you see that you're not burning through, that all those have been catch up by logic, and you're like, okay, I'm shooting this shit, then I'm shooting this shit. It's not very satisfactory in a way, just because like you're doing things that you're not a giant. And again, I could, like, as an individual, I could perform much better. In a way, I think that's part of equation. But yeah, next time I'm gonna ask for advice from from leadership about like what should I do, because I could have used, for example, Crucifier on my third alt or Turner alt or any other alt, and use two dreads, or use a carrier and a dread, and or I don't know. Well, I can't use two carriers, but kind of, but you know what I mean. So there were options, and I picked the wrong set of options. Um, yeah. So short summary: training dreads are fun. Capital brawls are fun. We doing better over time. Um, SRPs are no doubt, just because like yeah, everyone who applied got their new hull in like kinda 2 hours. So kinda good organization, gorgeous performance from authorities in terms of logistics and all that. So kinda I'm satisfied. So yeah, let's go to other topics, because like I'm talking about this for too long already. The third topic to talk about is Faceless and their deployment. If you don't know, Faceless are this group that dare to kind of contest all the power blocks, any power block in the game, led by a Russian streamer. They've deployed just fucking now, an hour ago, so just when I was getting ready to stream and all that. They are anchoring a keep star in horde space. Like double respect for that from me to them, just because that's a real, the real thrill, We're gonna see how it goes. I doubt really that this keep gonna survive, that it's gonna outlive. Kind of the horde pressure on it, especially keep in mind like there are gonna be a lot of third parties trying to kill this keep star, just because it's a keep star kill. And on streets attached about like you won't ruin your relations with power blocks, other power blocks than a horde and stuff. So kind of this is a good stuff, and this is a very very healthy thing for a game, just because kind of, well, about this, I'm talking about this all the time. First, when we moved from the north, we were expecting a new huge war to start shortly. We were getting ready. You remember I was telling about this, like take your time to take a deep breath, to to green some funds, to train the doctrines, etc., etc. Then there was a set of actions pointing that the war is about to come, just because the horde was aligning the neutral zone jump bridges for into their favor and stuff like this. Then goons made their moved kind of on the edge, like they moved on the frontier to, well, I thought at some point that they're gonna fight horde pretty soonish, but kind of year passed and like nothing happened. So we're just sitting, and all those capitals are being built, all those ships are being built, and there's no action at all. Like, and the war is the very nature of nullsec. You need to be, like, you have to be fighting, because otherwise all those PvP pilots that enjoy competition, that enjoy like action, they're just gonna go and do something else. Currently there is nowhere to go in this game other than like power blocks. And I mean, if you're very nullsec mind oriented guy, some people go into faction warfare, or they go into wormholes and stuff, but wormhole stuff is kind of also crippled right now in a way. Like, there's no supers or kind of easy to pick capitals to hunt on. Like, it's not the carrier riding area is not back. So just those beacons, yeah, but like people are running beacons in places where if you dare to attack a capital, okay, you're gonna be smashed like in a couple of minutes with a response fleet and stuff like this. So kinda very unlikely there's like a good content for wormholers other than wormhole content. But like I don't know what's going on, underwater there behind their wormhole curtains or something. I've heard there's some kind of drama. Ooh, someone is moving. He's doing this shit. You haven't seen this. And all that. So generally, I feel that game is rotting in a way. That's why I'm trying to bring us some other type of content. Like I've had several conversations with the Alliance leadership, and the main point is like we need to do our own stuff. We need to keep growing. We need to grow first before we're gonna be able to do some moves. Blah 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 blah. All this stuff like usual things. It's not bad. Like kind of it's okayish for Brave, who was fighting for years and years in a row from legacy times, then up north, then again up north, then kind of this move to south, and kind of some of the fights versus how's this horde group is called? Well, this Sig, they claim to be a Sig. It's like they're always neighbors of Brave, and taking time to make a deep breath to gain more numbers and stuff is crucial from leadership perspective. But from the global perspective, it's kind of nothing's happening. So what to do? And it's not about only in-game movement. It's like I always love to say that people who who love really play games, they just gonna play other games. That's the thing. Why to sit on Titan for 2 hours waiting for the fleet to start, for the fight to start that never really starts, and actually when you can go and play Dota, LOL, Counter Strike, what people play nowadays, I don't know, not Overwatch, like PUBG, I don't know, such things, and kind of, if you wanna group fights, you just go and play again Dota, LOL, so kind of. And in such terms, this game starting to lose, versus other contenders. So it's kind of in interest of all those power blocks if they want for game to stay healthy to do something about this. I quit, hoping that CCP gonna do something about it, because like everything they do and say kind of seem a trash from such perspective. Oh, they are unhappy about capital production, or they unhappy about other things. They unhappy about mining. Well, guys, that's the thing you did yourself. I know the reason behind this. I know why you did this, but like your solution may be even worse than the problem you were trying to solve. And when you're taking a look at all the secondary kind of signs, like, or metrics like east velocity, or the same market prices, or number of fights engaging, that's kind of showing that the game is at the very best stagnating currently. Again, I don't want to complain about this, but again, like, when there were a chance to ask questions, CCP, the main question was about the events and stuff. So they killed the fence events, they introduced new events. But to be honest, this Drift event, I've done 0 things about it, because no promotion, it's unclear what to do. Prizes, well, they might be good prizes like this. What the fuck is this? What is this? Really? Oh, this one. Yeah, plug suits kinda look fancy, but like, who cares? Also, it's, again, they're keeping in shadows what's gonna happen. With Triglavians, it was much more kind of thrilling thing. The shifting of the Earth, scorching some systems, pulling them into some kind of wormhole constellation or something like this kind of, and introducing very new content was cool, was interesting, but yearly events suck balls. I don't know, my favorite, like my 2 favorite ones used to be the first, of course, Grease's Hunt, and then Gala event, just because the number of PvP you can get in there. So, for example, this Easter hunt was awesome just because you may, literally get into a frigate and so have very little risk and have a lot of fun PvP for great prizes. Like, oh, I destroyed. Oh my god, such a disgrace. Who cares? Sorry, guys. With the Zug may have a, this habit is just present and not giving a shit. This died. I didn't really care. Yeah, and so like Garista's Hunt, and it was kind of fancy. You need to bounce around, you need to find these keys, you can go into a huge region. This is also a very important part. You could go to a Venal, there's like plenty of systems to run the event. And you have very, kind of broad combat field to do stuff, and it's you're only fighting the frigates. And some fittings can really do tricky things, like, and they're like kind of scale, scopes, blah blah blah. That was super interesting. I was super enjoying it. I loved the Gecko blueprints. I loved getting Hydra implant blueprints. I loved getting those specific Guristas oriented ballistic controls, blah blah blah. Gorgeous event. A lot of PvP, a lot of room for for action, and kinda they just ruined it. We don't have it for the third year in a row. Then we have this, yeah, and the Gala, the missing Gala. Gala was also awesome because like you just need to scan a wormhole and you are ready to dive in. And in there you know what awaits you, and you can get limited PvP engagements. You can fight, like all the wormholers and stuff like this. I was very enjoying this, and again, set of very cool skins. I think spirit skins are original from there. A good drop of boosters and implants and shit and stuff like this, so it was very interesting. All dead, nothing left. Like in a way, just this event is no more. Then there's like winter next event, yearly, which is okay. It's Christmas time. If people want to grind, they can grind. For all the newbies, they can get their cheap ISK. And that's another beauty of this event. If you are busy with real life, with celebrating with families and all that, you won't miss a lot of stuff. Yeah, there's like you're gonna miss maybe some glacial skins, or maybe some boxes or something like this. But who gives a shit in the end? If you're busy with real life, you can always pay 20 bucks and buy all the stuff. There used to be some, I think there used to be some skins for something, but that's okay. Then goes Crimson Harvest event. Kinda, I do love it, moderately, but I've got tired of it, and there's like a set of disadvantages. Most crucial one that you don't have this robust space to really enjoy event, especially if you are high sex citizen. You can go to low sex, one of the most toxic low sex in this game. Okay, if you want to, you're free to go. The most beneficial guys are actually us, because we have access to NPC delve. And yeah, don't get me wrong, I think this year I got something like 100 bill out of the event. Again, I didn't have much time to run it, but I was doing on the Explo, not only, mostly. And still we had a chance to form fleets. We had a chance to roll the corp. It was interesting, it was fancy, I can't really complain and all that. But again, it repeats for the third year in a row. And it's kind of the same, it's kind of boring event just because you're running and doing the same things over and over again. I don't know. Well, I know why CCP doing this, just because they're saving human resources in a way, just because you don't need to invent anything, you need to adjust anything, you're just reusing some things that were, designed before, and like that's okay. There's like birthday event that happens again. yearly on somewhere in May or at the end of April somewhere, and they just reused the patterns from Doctor Who event a couple of years ago. Again, I'm not really against it in a way. What's bothering lack of PvP content for this event, in a way very nerdy and kind of farmable, I don't know how to, like, grindable PvE type of event. Again, very rewarding, and we run a couple of really long runs with Dia to do it. But I can't state it's enjoyable 100%. Kinda, I do love this nano wormholes where you dive in and run exploration to to progress up the ladder. But again, uh, kinda at some point it just turns into stupid grind where you're just grinding, hoping to get some fancy item, fancy implant, without almost any chance to lose. And kinda, like, again, I do love the thing with progression, the ladder progression, but could it be something more tricky, something more complex, something that kinda would promote people to doing something together, not just like, I don't know, just diving in for multi-boxers who's efficient or explorers who's efficient. Trading is okayish. Build, like, what do I love? Production of those filaments. This is a good part. Maybe, just maybe, more types of abysses and more types of um, construction blocks for those would be awesome. Also, what is a ridiculously thing with naming? Namings are awful. Blah blah blah. I didn't like this, so kinda not very good part. Anyways, I have points that I wrote in here, and I don't know like how we shifted to me criticizing CCP. That's okay. Just this is a very painful spot in my mindset, so like I'll have to discuss this. So let's get back to our stuff. So yeah, it's CCP fault about the current state of the game. Anyways, Faceless really dare to change all this, and this I like fully support them. With the one small side note, they're going versus us. We are power block now, guys. We're not like some guys trying to pretend to be a power block. We are really in a power block. We are Imperium, so kinda. It's a tricky situation. I wish them all the best luck versus us in the battlefield. So kinda, and I hope they're gonna succeed in a way. They're gonna change this shape of wave. I do really hope for this, but kinda, yeah, kinda. We'll see. We're gonna see. I'm scanning for 1.5 hours and I've only got 75 mil. What the fuck? You're not very lucky today. Also, like, I'm doing this in lazy mode, so like, no hard feelings about this. Yeah, and the thing to mention the yesterday's fight, it was caused by Faceless also. There was Satillo, NPC Satillo, back in the sect several days ago. So what they did is somehow provoked those rats to land in a fort or something, and they forced the rat to shoot the fort. I think that's just the way how it works. So at some point, NPC rats switched onto a fort and reinforced it, and then like Horde decided to show up. Partly my salute to Horde for this, because they've tried to form and attacked the fort, very far from their mainland. So that's the thing, they had limits in their engagement and all that. I can't really say the fight wasn't fair because partly that's a part of the game. They're deployed super far. They are abusing the fact that they have a dock right in very heart of our area in NPC Delft, so they are granted to have options to and also they have they have access to market of asset safety in a way. So a lot of people who are quitting the game and then getting back their dreads and their assets land up in Irmaline, which is in range. This allows the Horde and others who camp in Irmaline to buy those assets with a huge discount usually. So kind of this part of the game. For example, we don't have docking access in a drone lands, for example, just because there's no stations in there, and there's no NPC docks for us to do the same versus them. So but yeah, that were their mana. Still, they engaged. They tried to perform pretty kind of spectacular action. Didn't went well for them in a way because still a lot of dreads were caught and lost, and we wanted time to actually to get reinforcements, etc. etc. So like this way the PR was kind of cool, kind of good. Not totally in our favor, but like strategic is already in all it. So getting back to Faceless, the Keep Star went live, I think. So the more action to follow. Expect us forming to be the third party during this fight. Probably we're gonna be going something Lightfoot, like I don't know, maybe the same Hurricanes or any other light doctrines. But we're gonna see. I can say from perspective of leadership, just because like I'm totally unaware what all leadership gonna do about this. But now you can see kind of the thing that we may face at some point, and we may face the same the same kind of. I have a comment. I have a comment. I need to answer. Oh. I totally miss this part because like I'm staring in my monitor. So yeah, would be nice if Betty's gonna try to anchor Keepstar in our space, and we're gonna get those capital brawls and all the large fights and all that that we are hoping. I hope all of us are hoping to see more of those because yesterday was enjoyable. What about Faceless? What else? Yeah, their headquarters gonna be in Sakht, I think. I mean, that's where they live. They do their stuff. I think Archon told that he's planning to run some Blood Rider missions to harass us, to troll us, and stuff like this. Partly that's why we're gonna changing our plans for the future. Going to low sec from this perspective looks not very kind of perspective. Sorry, but kind of lame joke. But kind of this part of the game. And we're gonna see what's gonna happen. That's the thing. I hope it's gonna shake up no sec a little bit more for us to get more content, and content is key. Partly maybe that's why partly that's why I started to stream, just because for you guys to have more content, just because currently there's nothing much to happen, and Skyhook defense is not a very enjoyable and pleasurable thing to do. So kinda I hope another war gonna start soon, just because then you find your identity on those battlefields. I do really enjoy to contest to be the top one damage dealer. I would like us to show ourselves, as a PvPers, as a group who really, is being challenged and accept those challenges and fight and really getting our best to succeed and stuff like this. Otherwise, like yeah, we are like what we can do. We are farming shit. Like we are very efficient in making money. Like like we don't need those. Like I don't need those therapies. I'm sharing all this stuff with you guys who just demonstrate results and all that, and to show how things might be done good. Those dead sides, those mining, R64 mining, A0 mining, capital production, like a lot of other money making things. Maybe Thunders one day. Maybe I'm gonna stream a Thunder, but they're like nothing much to really show you guys. It's just Thunders. Like money making is kind of solvable. Yeah, there are some tricky challenges like I don't know headquarter sites, maybe key sites, maybe those capital sites in LawSec or something. They are interested, but to a very limited level, just because I don't know. But I don't know, like when you know how to run Angel's 10 of 10, it just like you know how to run it, you know how much money you can get out of it. You're sometimes polishing the whole structure, how you run that, and in the very end, it's boring. The same site being ran, like there is an interesting part in form of gambling. Like some people, and me too. I do love gambling in a way. So opening the final box is always a thrill. It's always like you want to see if there's like this extra large shield booster or not. And when it's there, you're happy. When it's not, you're like kind of sad. Well, not very sad, but like on a decent level. But you can't do this for years. I mean, at some point you're just gonna think, okay, I'm just gonna go and do something else. And this game definitely deserves this, initial philosophy to be executed. In ways, player versus player game. So you need to generate player versus player fights, player versus player engagements, etc., etc. Currently, the state is kind of not the best shape I've ever seen, Now, speaking of challenges and stuff like this. So I've told on the start of the stream, there'll be my birthday soonish, pretty close in-game birthday of my my main and my real life birthday. So this year, instead of like saying like how we're gonna do later and later, how we're gonna try something else, something else gonna happen, blah blah. I've decided, to try and do something really fancy. So we're gonna form a PvP fleet. I'm gonna buy us ships. I'm gonna buy us doctrines. We're gonna plans for some group activity, and we're gonna do it. And we're gonna try to do something fancy in not a fucking standard hurricanes, Ferex, navies, or any other type of thing that people got bored with. Primary candidate currently is a Sleipnir. Oh, I don't know, maybe a Hurricane fleet, but I think Sleipnir. So, and I have plenty of those, and we have very many people ready to fly them. There are going to be additional roles if you can't fly Sleipnir. Don't be afraid. We're going to pick another good role and stuff. So yeah, just stay tuned. So the plan is, I'm planning to celebrate it again on the 12th of April, which is going to be a Saturday after next Saturday. I'm gonna keep reaching you out individually, probably, just because that's what I'm doing right now. We're gonna pick your role. We're gonna see how it goes. The only thing I wanted to mention about this, like we're gonna do a couple of training fleets during the week. Just like because I'm planning to be in your FC for this action, so and I need some practice, and we need to be sure we are following command broadcasts, so that we have everything, that we have everything kind of in order, just and yeah, and I'm gonna tell you what to get ready for, and then we're gonna try to roll and have some fun. After that, probably I'm gonna do a little bit of lottery, a little bit of gambling. I'm gonna form a set of prizes. Not very lucrative, you know. Kinda. Well, I lost a dread yesterday, but still, I hope those gonna be good ones. So, and we're gonna do a little celebration again. All the guests are gonna be gathering at some exact time of the day, but I hope this event gonna be long enough for us to have fun. Also, keep in mind it's gonna be Saturday, so we're probably gonna easily fight ourselves a PvP. I'm not sure yet whether it's gonna be, you know, a filament, gain filament roam, or we're just gonna straight ram into initiative space and gonna troll them till they form to fight us. I don't think it's gonna take too long, to be honest. So such and such things. What other options actually again? So why I'm considering maybe not Slipner, because armor doctrines are able to fit, I don't know, scrams and stuff, because otherwise we're gonna have to have very dedicated groups of tacklers. I haven't seen us specializing in tackling other than Nikomi, and I hope, I don't know, Nikomi to fly another ship. Like, that's the thing. Well, we're gonna see. Just stay tuned. Yeah, I hope every cool content gonna pop up. About those trains, I'm planning to form during the next week, and like actually next 2 weeks, I'm planning to form at least 2 fleets to train for this. One definitely gonna be midweek, maybe this midweek. I hope to wrap up all my work stuff by Wednesday, and then from there we're gonna go and gonna see how it goes. Yeah, that's the plan. I'm gonna pre-announce all those fleets, so consider this to be a pre-announcement for the Wednesday. I might shift to Thursday depending on how my work goes. Doctrine gonna be Hurricanes. We've built a set of those, more to build those, but I haven't moved them yet. It might be that I'm going to be moving them the Wednesday to E30. We're going to go from there. I'll set up the desk launch to there, just because when we're going to die, we can reship and go and try to do this once again, blah, blah, blah. All this stuff, regular stuff. I'm getting close to the storm, I think. Where's the storm? No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 jumps. Fuck my life. It's gonna be a long one. Do I want to burst? Do you want to speed up this process? Actually, no. Let's measure exact outcome from Explo in Angel Space. I haven't found any good sites. I think. Well, this one was good. You get this. This is definitely underperforming. This is definitely underperforming. This is overperforming. Chip sheet. This is also overperforming. This is kind of natural. Okay. Okay. Let's consider this as an adequate distribution of drop. Still no ghosties. Still no slippers. So, well, I won't run a slipper. Wait. I may want to run a super slipper, just one room out of 2 possible for the frigate, maybe 2.5. But I honestly don't want to bother, so kind of just proceed. A side note, I finished my set of points, so I'm gonna take a small pause in talking. I need to recover my voice because like my tongue starts to hurt, my throat starts to hurt. So I just need, a break, small break. Anyways, I don't want to waste any time, so kinda I'm just gonna meet myself 5 minutes. I'm gonna drink some coffee. I'm gonna take some break from talking, and then I'm gonna be back in 10 minutes. But you're gonna see things happen on my monitor, on my screen, just because I don't want to waste any time. I don't want to hold you longer than it really takes to finish to show you. Like, I could stop right now, but like I've started to do Explo on this tune, not on my main, for a reason. I wanted to show you an electrical storm, so you would know what it is, how faint is it for explorers and stuff like this. Okay, anyways, what's the time? I'm gonna be back in 1902, and now I'm taking my time to recover my voice because like it starts to go low, you know. Okay, see you shortly. Stay tuned. Okay, I'm getting back. Kinda relief for me to not talk and take a take a small pause in talking. Yeah, there was a newt on my way for Witrix. Kind of strange he's here because they usually live in Stain. I don't know what he's doing here. Maybe hunting or maybe doing some escalation or expedition. I don't know. Who cares? I just decided not to go and do the relic site newt in the system because it might be like Cloaky, Saber, blah blah blah. They are doing this stuff in Stain all the time. Also, then didn't want to start the stream all over again somewhere in E3. So okay, I'm slowly getting close to Storm. Like gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4 jumps left. So and when I'm in Storm, I'm just gonna show you some basics. And partly I'm gonna tell you some details of how to be efficient in there and all that. Whoop, an explorer. Maybe I'm going right after him. So Proteus. Yeah, Proteus is doing some Proteus synth. So he took all the fancy stuff right in front of me. No. Well, who cares? It's not about how to say, it's non-commercial. Streaming is non-commercial. So yeah, so I'm gonna burn up. Hope you're other guys off. But if not, we're just gonna do a maneuver. We're gonna do bounce. Not to jump into a bubble. Anglia Rex. Okay. Fellow, you're here. Where is this line? It's here, it's here. We're gonna go from an angle. We're gonna go from here. Let's go here, somewhere here. And gonna bounce. Because if he's trying to camp, he's probably put a set of containers. But we're gonna see if he's camping. So just choosing an angle gives you a better chances not to get right into container. We're gonna jump here. So what out? Usually have some kind of ops points near to those gates, but kinda don't have for the system. Yeah, it's clear. So just acting a little bit tricky not to be caught, by a chip, direct warp in, warp out, a guy who just put a stationary bubble, put a set of cans in front of warp direction, and you just get crash into the bubble, crash into cans, you get decloaked, and it's like that time your journey ends. Very cautious. We are trying to act kind of professional. So we're doing our moves. I mean, if I was in my Pacifier or Astero, I would do some additional precautious measures to avoid this. But like again, in the very end, it's just game, and everything that undocks has chances to be killed. That's kind of very nature of this game. So kind of do not be sad if you losing something, even very expensive. I mean, you always have chances to replenish, to restore, to revive that ship. I'm gonna speed up, so I won't be scanning down all of those. Just gonna change the way of operation. Usually, I'm bookmarking the signatures for the case if I'm gonna be burning back. I won't have to rescan them down, but tomorrow is a kind of very busy day for me with working, and those last only for 2 days. I doubt I'm gonna be burning here, just like it's a matter of habit. Like I'm doing this kind of all the time. So it's just how I'm usually doing stuff. Okay, sorry, so okay. It produces running somewhere, blah blah blah. Fake station. Blingo. Bingo. Okay, let's go here. Yo. Right on me. Let's wave our friendo. Because why not? Because why not? Curves and arrows. Security info tissue. Some guy slightly in front of us. Not slightly. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Do this. And gonna report all those gentlemen. +6, I think. No idea what they're up to. You know, I'm in the middle of nowhere, so I doubt we're gonna intersect with them. Right, use it online. TR7, and I'm going to QB. The problem with that is the storm starts. Next system, I think. Yeah. Yep. And the thing about electrical storms, you can't really cloak in there. Just because it's the very nature of a storm. You can't cloak in an electrical storm. Yeah. And thus, when I'm gonna cross the border, when I'm gonna pass the gate, if they put a bubble on me, I won't be able to cloak. And if they have an Easter locker, they're just gonna lock and kill me. And I don't want to take all those risks. But let's check who are them. Maybe they're somewhere here. Over here, let's go. Where do I'm gonna go here. Sleepers. I'm going to QB, yeah. Let me check, who are you guys? You are Jump to Pigan. Death Legion Capybaras. Let's be honest, I don't know who the fuck are them. I'm gonna take a look at them on the keel board. Maybe they're wormholers, who knows? Who knows? Give me a second to begin. Well, come on. Yes, some fountain, death, some wormhole, kills and death, some other stuff. They used to do some silly stuff in Quirius. They killed Nereus. They killed. Honestly, they seem to be wormholers. But anyways. Oh, we've got a rescan. Awesome. Let's take a look. Yeah, not very friendly for sure. Anyways, well, I won't be waiting for them to go off, to go out, so I'm just probably gonna dock and call it a day for streaming, just because they're spawning. Let's see, where are they going? Where are they going? Where are they going? Let me dock. Anyway, guys, was a good stream today. I'm a little bit tired, to be honest, because even if my throat doesn't hurt that much, anymore. I still have a void going down. And it's pretty late in here, 2 a.m. my time. So kinda thanks for watching. I'm gonna do a midweek with this electrical storm that like I was teasing you for quite a good time. So I'm gonna demonstrate it probably tomorrow. Also, there's gonna be less contestants because you see today I've made a almost 2 hour, not almost, I mean 2 hour trip. Got pretty much nothing. 50 mil per hour is not the very best ETH per hour game. Still kind of okayish for guys starting. Angel Space is not very best for Explo, especially when you're going behind Explo Proteus that probably scanned down the whole pipe. So kind of just bad luck. Maybe, you know, with my standard Expo setup I would do more in the passive or something like this, but kind of it is what it is, as Dia says. And it took too much time already, so thank you for watching. I'm gonna do the following. I'm gonna pre-announce our PvP shenanigans. I'm gonna pre-announce this electrical storm midweek stream. I hope I'm gonna find time. Let's celebrate my wrap up on my real life job next week with a midweek stream and midweek PvP. Anyways, thank you for watching. Yeah, press like, please. Likes should be important. Not super important right now, but gonna be important in the future. And once again, thank you. I'm gonna see you around. Cheers. Bye.